Well, folks, here it is. Final day for this year's largest tractor and engine show in the world. The Tri-State Antique Gas Engine and Tractor Association Show 2025 is coming to an end. Today's a short day for the show, but it's going to be a really long day for us. Everything ends at 4 o'clock. No more exhibits. Everything shuts down. That's when we start packing up Lee up at the flea market. That's going to be an all-evening job in itself. Probably going to be here till 11 o'clock or so. But in the meantime, while things are still going on, my oldest son Caleb's going to join us. We're going to walk around. Let's see what we can see. So Caleb, it's really hard to see when it's moving, but you see the red thing around this hub? The faster the flywheel spins, the more those spread out. As it slows down, they pull back towards the center. When they pull back towards the center, it trips the valve and makes it put a little gas in there, and it fires it. That's how they run. That's how they stay running. That's how it'll run. The speed it runs will be, and the speed that it fires will be according to how much load is slowing the engine down. So the more load you have on it, the faster it fires. But it's all controlled by this red thing here. Centripetal force, I think, is what makes it go out as it's spinning. That red thing gets bigger. When it comes back in, it trips the valve again. That's how a majority of these work in some way, shape, or form like that. Now there are different governors. They're not all right there on the flywheel. Some of them you'll see these things look like balls spinning, and it's how high, or either how high and low they move, or how far out and in they go. I like watching all the external workings and the valves, and yeah, so cool. Another international harvester. Now that one's hitting pretty fast. That's probably throttle governed. So it's made instead of allowing inertia to decide how often it fires. It's, like our tractors, there's a lever. You push the lever up to make it spin faster. This one's probably throttle governed because it's just continuously firing.
9:50 will announce where to meet Cindy Rugro, our antique craft manager, to select 10 participants for today's workshop. Stay tuned at 9:50 for our announcement on where to meet Cindy Rugro. Thank you.
Turn that off to clear the line out or anything? I'll just turn it off.
If you look over here, see the red things around the hub on the flywheel that's not moving? It's got springs on it. That's what I was telling you about. The faster it spins, the further those spread out.
I've been watching on that one.
Yeah, and then when they come back in, they trip the valves. Yeah, it's a little easier to see on the slower moving engines too, but very easy to see on one that's not moving.
As the sun makes its way out, folks, we're right now at the temperature of 69 degrees, cloudy skies. We should see a high today of 79. Some wonderful weather in store for today.
Now this one's got a different system for it. I think it's the thing spinning right out here, sticking out and spinning. It's how much that slows it down is what's going to trip your valve. It's not on the outside, it's kind of on the inside. It's a bit of a different setup. I wouldn't mind having one of those, I wouldn't even care what the make was, who made it. Just to play with. I like working on all that kind of mechanical stuff.
626. Miscellaneous exhibits all have registered.
Yeah, this one, that's one of the balls.
Of course, right here in Indiana, as well as our neighbors in Ohio, Wyoming,
This one's firing pretty fast.
Kentucky, Iowa,
This one he's got firing pretty
South
fast.
Carolina. Also in
About every other stroke is firing.
Oklahoma, Maryland, Kansas, and 33 states visited today, and also our neighboring countries as well. We've got folks from Ontario, Canada, we've got people from Thailand and Spain. Again, we'd like to welcome and thank everyone for joining us at the 60th running.
This one's going. This one's making 10 or 11 revolutions before it fires again.
Indiana.
This one's firing like every 2 to 3. And they got valves and stuff that they can set it to make it run a little faster or make it fire a little more often. They got an empty oiler up there. These glass jars, these are oil. Yeah, and they put it in glass so you can just see. You can look and see if you need oil. I don't know what that oiler necessarily goes to because it looks like it's on the smokestack, but you got an oiler empty. And this thing, they're usually covered. They're usually like in a box or something. But some of the engines they're kind of open like that. That's a magneto. And what it does, that jerk creates an electromagnetic force which becomes the electricity that makes your spark. About 10 minutes, 10 or 11 minutes. I think the thing that would stop me from getting getting an engine is the cost if you break it. The cost of parts, and not even just breaking it when things wear down. You know, you gotta have a little extra, some extra money in the bank to run these engines. These are cool. This guy makes some custom pieces. Oh, what that engine is. Stay on the side. Kree, K-R-I-E-E.
Now time to make your way to the show arena if you would like to have your child take part in our small tool workshop.
Some of them, you'll see this right here. That's the handle for starting it. It folds out, you crank it, and then just force pulls the handle back in once it starts.
Sign up for the small tool workshop. Again, we'd like to thank our sponsors of this event, Ansonia Lumber and Steiner Trek.
Yeah, this is the 20 horse Muncie. I've not seen this one running yet. I imagine they'll probably start the 55 horse before they start the 20 horse because they lit it first. It'll get preheated first. Oh, the light. Were you looking at those lights and asking about the paramedics?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a fire grilled pizza stand.
Oh.
Yeah, that one's not.
I didn't get a full look at the
Yeah.
I just want to flashlight.
Yeah, that's a food vendor, but there are several paramedics on the ground. What's that?
That movie.
What?
That.
Oh, Epic.
Oh.
Somebody's probably selling that because that's a vendor building there.
Probably not necessary. Did you get it?
Oh, I got the big one yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I've not been out here yet when this one's running though. I'm waiting on it.
Hopefully it runs as well today as it did last night. It was sitting there purring like a kitten.
Yeah. It's really hard to find good angles at outdoor shows because of the sun. Yeah. Now the guy in the green shirt can run the engines too. He's getting ready to preheat that 50 horse. So wait.
Yeah, up there.
Yeah, the guy in the green shirt was the one who started them on it. He's going for it, 20 horse.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed by Cindy Rugro. We have some children who may have left their hats behind after the small pool workshop. Children, if you left your hats behind at the pool arena, they ask you to come get those. Again, if you lost your hat or left a hat behind at the snow arena after the small pool workshop, Cindy has those for you at the show arena behind the car. Thank you.
So this is where those sticks come in handy. They got to get that cylinder lined up. And this doesn't have the holes like the other ones do. I got to do it by sheer weight. Move that flywheel.
As a gift, again, you have taken part in a small school workshop. Come to the show arena for your free gift. Thank you.
There you go, you got it.
Send it backwards. Big, did you see what he was doing with the lever? He's manually firing it. Turning the gas on. He was watching a mark that's on that flywheel. Every time that mark would come around, he'd hit it. That would keep it spinning in the right direction. The kid, I don't know, it seems like they're having fuel trouble too, but the kid ended up doing it the wrong path and sent it backwards too.
Not hot enough yet.
Not hot enough? It's been preheating for a while, ain't it?
What's that?
It's been preheating for a while, ain't it?
Turn the fuel back on. Bottom black one. That'll make it run better.
It's easier with the bar. Get a lot more leverage trying to do it by hand. That may be what you saw him doing on the 100 horsepower last year.
Yeah.
But every time I've been up here, the cylinder's already been aligned. And they just fired it up.
Yeah, this is what they were doing. They put the pole in it and bring it down.
Giveaway donated by Myron and Marilyn Damon in Ohio. We'll have a drawing today for free hay. All you have to do is guess the weight. They have 3 sizes, large, medium, and small. The drawing will be today at 11:30. Again, free hay bales. Donations are giveaway by Myron and Marilyn Damon of New Weston, Ohio. There is no delivery. You must pick up. But get to the east end of the fairgrounds, right across from the horse barn. You'll find Myron and Marilyn Damon of New Weston, Ohio, with a hay bale giveaway.
There we go. Now it's running.
I think he's getting ready to start the other one.
Yep, we're gonna try it again.
We also missed those things starting. That one right there.
Yeah. They've got them both running there in the tent. The upright, it hits like every 20 seconds, maybe. It's on a
They weren't going when we were standing here earlier.
No, they weren't. We were standing here when I heard them fire up the upright, but I didn't see them do it. They'd already walked away by the time it started firing. I really want to see this 20-horse start today. I've not yet seen this thing running. In the last 2 years, every time I come by, it's sitting there static. They run it. It's just I don't get. My timing is off. I never get to see it. Yes, what's that?
Said the torch went out for a minute.
I saw it smoking real bad, yeah.
Wouldn't that be frustrating if you were just going to get a gallon of milk?
Waste a lot of propane. But it's gonna run, right?
Well, it rained last night. I don't know why it wouldn't this morning.
Yeah, I think somebody told me last year that 55 horse was in an electric power plant. They generated electricity using that one.
I think I heard that too.
Yeah, I don't know what they did with this one. I've not heard the story of it. They really don't have much about it up here, other than it came from the place that made it, Delaware Machine, down on Walnut Street. If you're heading into town, like right before you get around the circle that's downtown, off to the side, there's a place called Delaware Machinery. That's where both of these engines were made back in the 1920s. Came from that place. That one was sold, but then Delaware Machinery got it back. Delaware Machinery, I don't know if they donated the engine or sold it to the club, and the club restored that one. This one, it says, was at Delaware Machinery, and Delaware Machinery restored it. So it may have never left the factory. It may have always been there. It may have never actually been used for oil field or electricity or anything. Get enough oxygen in there. On a day like today, see how that flame keeps going out? Yeah. He's got plenty of fuel, so he doesn't have oxygen. He's got fuel, he's got heat, he's not getting enough oxygen. Especially if he take that coffee can off of there that he's using as a wind block, it'd probably burn better today. Then there's other days where he'd have to run that coffee can. Might end up giving up on this one.
What?
But it might end up giving up on this one.
I'm gonna go look at the vendor in the building then.
You get if you want to watch the mill work, where the last window before the overhead door, that's a good place to watch from. It gets really dusty, but that puts you just on the other side of this blade, and you don't have all the machinery in the way and stuff. And you can actually see where they're pulling the levers to move the carriage forward and back and things. That's the best place to view them cutting from. Stand in anybody's way.
So this thing sit here, or do they move it around? They take it back with them?
They probably take it back across the road. I don't think it's always in here. Now, like the pulley here, you can see it's pretty much permanently mounted to the cement.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's got binders. They may just leave the anchorage in. But I think this belongs to the club, and the club grounds are across the street from the green building. So it's not always in here. Get up there and watch closer so you can actually see what's happening. See, I filmed about an hour of the sawmill yesterday, so I don't need to film. If you want to get up in there. The guy in the orange hat that's running it, his name's Rex. He's pretty cool. I've known him for a few years. He's got a very interesting tractor around here somewhere. I was parked on the other side. Yeah, I could explain it to you, but it's a Farmall B that's turned around, shortened, and made into a loader bucket. He's got a very interesting tractor. Look at the engine? Yeah. I thought you weren't invited to this party.
Emergency.
Emergency, huh?
The other one blew up gasket this morning
Uh-oh.
while on the mill. That's why all the water.
Okay. Oh.
So we had to fill in.
So you don't get to have fun and parade all around now, huh?
Oh yeah.
You still will.
We got one log left. We're done.
Okay. I saw two more over there. Okay.
That guy's not here to tell us how to cut it, so once he shows up the next 15 minutes.
Don't get too close to this sag. I learned the hard way. A lot of cool working Okay, it's a little wet down here.
That's what I'm doing.
These were, you know, not this one in particular, but the steam engines were the first of what we call tractors. Before this, they had steam engines, but it'd be on a cart. So your horse would pull a cart to wherever you needed to run a machine off the flywheel, right? So it was a stationary engine. Once you got it in place, you left it sit, and then you used the belt to run like these pickers and this thresher and the grinders and stuff. So they had stationary engines that they bring in, and somebody figured out at some point that they could use the same steam power to also move wheels. And so they started calling it the traction engine. It was a steam traction engine because it made its own traction. It was able to move.
The steamboat or steam tractor come first?
Steamboat, probably. I don't know, but probably the steamboat. I'd have to look.
I know they have similar mechanics.
Yeah.
Instead of a wheel, it's a wheel with.
Yeah, the paddle wheel.
Yeah.
But yeah, they figured out that they could make wheels turn with the same, you know, just with different moving gears basically and moving valves. They could make the same energy that's pumping the flywheel. They could make it move wheels to give it its own locomotion, you know, locomotive that they call the trains. And so it became the steam traction engine. And then they kind of shortened that to traction engine when gas engines came around. So there were still steam engines and steam engines and gas engines at the same time, tractors, but they didn't call them tractors. So they became traction engines. That was just the name for them. And sometime along the way, traction engine became tractor. Yeah, when you're doing something like a sawmill, there ends up being quite a bit of sitting. They're gonna run that thresher here in a minute. They should have already started. They're late. But you'll see that run off of a tractor belt. Walk over here real quick. They're not running it, but they got an A just like mine. Oh, he is getting ready to run this.
What?
He is getting ready to run this. I don't know if that's a corn sheller or if that's a little thresh. I'm not sure what that is. I think that might be a sheller because that's probably taking corn off the cob and dumps it into a grinder. That's probably what that does. But the A, this is the tractor that I have. I have an A, except mine's not a super A, right? So I don't have the hydraulics here. This is a hydraulic system that runs off the other side. But even with my A, that hitch that I got back here, that lift, is not original to an A. You'd have a drawbar you could pull stuff with. You got your PTO, you can turn things like, I don't know what you turn with an A at that time, but like my tiller on my Cub Cadet. Okay. But the PTO on these, you can also put a belt pulley. And mine has a belt pulley on it. So that little tractor could be used to run machines like this corn grinder here.
Okay.
That's why if you look at the back of my A, you see this behind that hitch. That hitch isn't supposed to be there. But your great grandpa did that because he needed a tractor. He needed that tractor with a hitch at that time. So he built that hitch for it. He probably rarely ever used the belt, but I don't know, because he had bigger tractors that would run belts bigger than the A. But the A is fine for small jobs. Now, like this big thresher machine over here, the A couldn't run that. It just doesn't have enough horsepower. This, if that's a sheller, which I'm really not familiar with this machine in front of us. I don't know what it is, but if it's a sheller or a little mini, it's got to be a sheller because it dumps into the grinder. So that'll shell the corn, take it off the cob. The A probably doesn't have enough power to run that machine. So then you need something bigger like this one. And as they get bigger, they've got a belt on the other side instead of a belt on the back, because they needed, you know, they needed more stuff back here. They've got hydraulic remotes, put bigger implements and things back here, and you get more torque when you're right up here beside the engine instead of at the back of the transmission. So on the bigger tractors, the belt is here on the side, and they get, I don't know what the Super MTA horsepower is on the belt, but like the difference between engine horsepower and belt horsepower on this versus engine horsepower and belt horsepower on the A, when the belt is back there behind the transmission running off the PTO, huge difference. It's much more efficient to put it up here. So a lot of your tractors have a belt pulley right here. That's what that's for. And it's for running stuff like this. And there's rock grinders and all kinds of different things they could run off of them. And water pumps. You see a lot of them on demonstrating running water pumps. I suppose if you wanted to, you could even run like an oil well pump or something. You want to watch any more of the sawmill cutting?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Because whenever she goes to start a new log, this thing will really start boom, 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 boom. Like they're getting ready to put a new log in, but it'll be a few minutes before she cuts it. But you know, like you see the old movies, the train locomotive is just chugging and putting out all kinds of black smoke.
That's
the
what it is.
Yeah, the harder you work the engine, the harder the engine works, right? Because you know, like I explained with the flywheels on the smaller engines.
Yeah.
The more you pull against the engine, the more it pulls against that force. So it really starts chugging and throwing up black smoke as it goes through a thicker log. Bulldozers running out there. We may get to see them for a minute.
Come on, baby.
But yesterday, I don't want to tell you because you're getting cut. But you see how once she gets it running, she really doesn't have to touch much of anything. The harder that log pulls against the engine, the harder the engine forces back against the log.
It's also kind of cool watching the smoke distort the shadows on the ground. Pretty cool.
And the reason it all does that, did you see the little inertia governor up there, the balls that swing out and back in?
Yeah, I noticed those.
Yeah, that's how it does it. But how far those balls are out determine how much power, how much steam it'll run, hit the piston with. It's a little different today. She's burning wood. When she's burning coal, oh man, it really gets black smoke coming up. And then when it tries to slow down too fast, like if they stop moving and they start arguing up there or something, it's like greenish brown smoke will just start coming and dropping out of the smokestack. It's real heavy, stays real low, but it smells great. I love the smell of burning coal. She's burning wood today.
I think they were running coal, but they ran out. Or that's not coal, at least.
No, they were running coal. That's coal on the ground right there.
So it's some right here. So it's going to do it charcoal.
No, that's chunks of natural coal right there. So yeah, it is a little more impressive when she's burning coal. But I just love how there's no technology involved. There's no computers involved. The engine just knows to push back harder because of the inertia that's on the governor. Now we can walk around the steam thresher if you want. What's going on over here?
The what?
The thresher. Threshing is when they take the threshing is when they take the wheat out of the seed out of the wheat.
Yeah.
This is how they used to do it. Now they can do it with the combine. But I don't know what it does to beat and chop and, you know, separate the seed from the chaff. I don't even begin to know how it does it. This is a fairly big one compared to some of them. You'll see there's like 6 people operating this in total. That is running off the same tractor we were standing there talking about over on the other side. Hard to see from this point, but there's a lot of people down the line. The little chute that's going into the wagon, if you like kind of walk that way, oh, now you can see a bunch of it. You see all the seed coming out, and then all the chaff comes out here. Yeah, I don't even begin to know how it separates.
Think of it, you have to do it by hand.
But the guys last year were telling me about they would bag it. They come out here and bag it instead of putting it in a hopper. And that's a tough job when you're up beside all that stuff and you've already got the heat, hot sun blaring down on you. And the guy on top, apparently, he's got like a glass window up there. He can see the wheat before it comes out the chute. So he knows if there's a lot of wheat coming in and very little wheat coming through that glass under him, then there's a problem. Or he can see if there's much chaff coming in through the wheat, and he knows there's a problem. I forget what they call him. But he's basically the boss man. There's a name for the guy up there, but I can't think of it. Yeah, this is the one that was supposed to run the sawmill. It was supposed to be running the sawmill right now, but you see, he had to scrape out his box. Usually if there's some kind of emergency, they open these vents and just pull all the coals out of the firebox so it cools down as quick as possible, but you can see the water all over the side. Yeah, he blew something. I come watch the bulldozers a little bit. I hadn't got to see them at all yet this year. Unfortunately, well, they're going to run it. I missed the deadline this year too. Now, watch this guy. Watch this guy. When he backs up, he doesn't even look behind him, and he doesn't have any mirror. Anytime you're around this stuff, you got to be the one watching out for yourself. Oh, that time he did. Yeah, he kind of looked behind him once, you know. Come up here. Hopefully they make more runs. Huh?
Big one over there coming through.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I don't know about the width of the blade, but I think that's like a Cat DV6 or 6BD. It's those three characters, DV and 6. I think it's DV6 or D6B. But yeah, he's got a very wide blade on. But you look at it, his blade isn't really much wider than his tracks.
But it has to be wider than the tread, right?
You need it to be wider than the tread. There's another Caterpillar. Oh, okay, so this cat's the D6B. I don't know what the one with the wide blade is. Yeah, older but very similar. But all the cats do have similar characteristics. But this one coming, this is International Harvester TD9. Before they made them just the international industrial type bulldozers, they did make a farming dozer. They took a Farmall 340 and made a T340, a track 340. So it had a blade on the front like this, but it also had a 3-point hitch on the back. So you could use your farm implements. You could plant a field with your bulldozer. I've not seen this one, this particular International TD9. I've not seen it at this show that I remember ever. There's an older, more rusty one that I saw the other day because it helped unload the steam engines. I've never seen this one at the show. See, he's got the farm model. He doesn't have the 3-point hitch on the back, but he's got drawbar, remote, PTO. He could pull a planter with that. So it's not just a single purpose pushing dirt. It can be used as a farm tractor. Where these, the Caterpillars, I mean, they're pushing dirt and pulling things out of mud holes, you know, skidding logs out of woods, anything that requires a whole lot of power. These are purpose built for what they do. And these, that International, that's more of a multi-purpose type machine. I kind of want one. Although I want the older one. I want the T340. It's a little smaller than that even. But the 340 Farmall is about the size of the H. And so basically it's an upgraded H, you know, after the H was over. It's an upgraded H that they put bulldozer tracks on, put tracks on and a dozer blade. And not four-way blade. It's called something different, sorry. A four-way blade, up, down, tilt side to side, and also tilt forward and back. That's a four-way blade. The one that's the bucket, but you can like flip half the bucket up and use it as a dozer blade. Now I've done lost myself. I don't remember what those are called. But like these big Caterpillars, you can see there's like a drawbar on the back, or it's really just a hitch with a pin through it for pulling stuff. Like if they got to pull something out, or a machine out of the mud hole, or whatever they got to pull. But you won't see hitches and PTOs and rear remotes and stuff like that on a purpose-built bulldozer. But something like the International being multi-purpose, sometimes you'll see them with 3-point hitches. They've usually got a drawbar. They've usually got a PTO.
going pretty deep this time.
Yeah, he is. Well, those, for their size, those are pretty powerful machines right here.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit, but he's making it.
Yeah. But yeah, you can get them with a dozer blade, or you can get them with a loader blade. The loader blade's quite different, but the loader blade is, again, multi-purpose. You flip up half the loader blade, and you've still got a dozer blade. But compared to, you know, you think with all the abilities of what they do, you think that more people would have had them, but for their abilities, they're also extremely heavy. They're hard to transport around, you know. If your farm ground wasn't real close to your barn, if you had to travel, you know, 10 miles, you'd rather travel 10 miles on a bigger tractor, like your grandpa's 460, 560, something like that. You'd rather drive 10 miles on that than you would on a dozer.
Yeah.
So they're still a very, very multi-purpose machine compared to the Caterpillars, compared to the construction equipment type. But we watched them go back and forth a few times. We can go watch something else. You want to catch the drag line in action, the big digging bucket?
I keep watching it.
Yeah.
Seeing how it works.
Huh?
Even if you're done for an hour, he's looking at something.
Now, those right there, I don't know if he's going to do it right now. If he drops down, those are ripper shanks. They rip the ground as he backs up. A lot of your bigger machines, you'll see ripper shanks on the back. But again, being a very multi-purpose machine, at least on this TD9, he's got ripper shanks on the front. So if he needs to rip into the ground, he just drops his blade and backs up. 1929 Cat 60.
I assume 1929's a year, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's almost 100 years old.
Yeah, pretty close. I don't know for certain, but it's got to be one of the earliest. It's got to be one of the earliest dozers, because I think the first tractors, production tractors, were somewhere around 1926. So that's a very, very early dozer.
I've been watching this guy though.
Yeah. This is basically all done with multiple winches. See all the different cables he pulls? He's got winch controls in there instead of hydraulic pistons like used in our backhoe and stuff.
Yeah, I noticed he has one that brings it up, one that brings it toward him.
Yep. Basically one that raises and lowers it, one that brings it closer and further away from him, and then one that trips that will dump it. He can trip it and dump it midair if he wants. That's how he dumps it. He raises it, and then releases that front cable.
Yeah.
It's the same cable that pulls it to him. We can get closer up here if you want. If you want where we're not right there with the sun in our face. I prefer the sun to be on any other angle but directly in my face. If he's going over the grass, he's probably done. They're not going to tear up a new area today, I don't think.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe he is. See how he's just kind of scraping the ground with it?
Yeah.
That's the same thing I was telling you about our backhoe. You can't just go down and dig a chunk of earth out with one scoop.
Yeah.
It's the backhoe is called a hoe for a reason. You scrape it like a hoe. But these dragline shovels, that's how they do it. They couldn't drop with enough force to get a huge bite in the ground. Yeah. They hoe it off. They hoe the dirt off the ground. It's like he dug up a big old rock a little bit ago.
Yeah. Doesn't have much problem with grass, much problem with rocks, much problem with.
Nah.
Now it looks like it might be done.
That
Maybe.
I don't know at all what the weight of that bucket would be, but it's probably close to a ton of steel anyway, about 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, it can't be light.
Yeah. Sneezed and the wind blew it back in my face. This guy is probably learning.
What do you mean burning?
Learning.
Oh, learning. Oh, you said burning. I was confused.
Yeah. You can tell as he goes, he's not quite as skilled as the guy I was filming last year. I mean, still, he obviously knows a lot about the machine. But
Yeah.
the guy I filmed last year was just smooth with this machine. You watch the tractor pulls, it's hard to even call them tractors. But they do tractor pulls, but they do like stock and antique tractors and stuff. But yeah, the big ones that he watches, they'll have like 3 and 4 engines and they're blowing flames out as they're bouncing down. Yeah, those are hardly tractors. But yeah, the more weight you have on the front, the more force you pull on the back, the more weight you need on the front. 3-point hitch mitigates some of that because it pushes higher up to keep the front end down, but that only helps so much.
Well, I thought it was kind of like the same reason why you have a big magnet on the Kubota, on the arm.
What?
Don't you usually have a big magnet on the arm of the Kubota?
I don't know what you're talking about.
For the bucket? Like one of the arms of the bucket doesn't have a big magnet on
Did I?
I think you did. At least at one point.
Now I've put logs and stuff in the bucket to counterbalance to keep the front end down. But with the Kubota, and you'll rarely ever see one with a front end, any of these old tractors with a front end loader, you'll rarely ever see one that has a loader bucket on the front also have weights, because the loader bucket itself weighs a lot. Even with a tractor as small as my Kubota, the loader bucket weighs 600 pounds. So that's like hanging 600 pounds of weight on the front of my tractor. But there have been times, especially like skidding logs out of woods and stuff, where I'll fill my front bucket up full of logs to add weight to the front so my front end keeps traction. Because usually with the Kubota anyway, I'm in 4-wheel drive when I'm doing something like that, so I need those front wheels to help me pull.
I thought you meant on that arm you had a magnet on one side.
The magnets I've got on there for mounting lights.
Oh.
Those magnets don't add much weight, but the bucket itself on mine adds 600 pounds. So, which is generally plenty of weight. I mean, it's plenty. I can't, like, my tiller. If I put the tiller on the back of the Kubota without having the bucket on the front, my front wheels to get no traction. I can't steer right. I don't get the pull from the front wheels. I got to have that weight up front. What'd you do that for? Yeah. Here's Larry. Ain't no Dave back there. So if you see anything you want to stop and look at while we're walking through here, just let me know. You want to walk down the hard road, or you want to walk between all these John Deeres?
Walk between them all.
All right. I do want to kind of make our way to the green building, check on Lee, get some water out of the truck.
I think that's odd, a hay bale giveaway.
Yeah.
A lot of people here are farmers.
Guess the weight and they give away the bale.
It'd be fun if they did one where they have the kid votes and the adults votes. See
Yeah.
how ridiculous the kid votes got.
That's what I was telling you about earlier, a hay spear. They ram that into the hay bale and then they can use
underneath that there's probably a spike in?
Yes, there's a spike under there.
Okay.
They run that into the hay bale and then they can lift it up and put it in a lot. That's what Uncle Craig does. Because he made the barn out of shipping containers. His loader is big enough he can spear a bale of hay, pick it up and stick it up on top of the shipping container, which the height is like 9.5 foot, so 10 feet up in the air.
Pretty high.
It's a lot easier than using something like a hay elevator to drag it up there.
I think they really, really caution tape and PVC pipe.
Yeah, well, you don't want people tripping over it,
Yeah.
for one. I mean, people don't accept their own personal responsibility when they trip over something like that. They'd sue the owner of the tractor.
I don't get stuff like that. I don't get how being stupid can let you sue people.
I don't know.
Just like some of the warnings they had to put on stuff.
This plow's got a little different coulter wheel than the ones you're used to looking at, but it does the same job. That's the blade that cuts the grass, cuts the sod, because this front edge, you see there's no sharpening on that front edge. You're not going to consistently cut through the grass roots with that kind of edge. So you drop this down in there, that makes the wall of your furrow. It cuts it for it, and then all your plow really has to do, it has to cut the bottom, makes the horizontal cut and flips the dirt over.
So I'm assuming there's not really new stuff here, really, right?
No, you're not supposed to put anything in here less than 25 years old.
Okay. So Michael probably couldn't.
No, all Michael's tractors are new.
Yeah, they're very.
Yeah.
I think the only tractor I've seen, like actual tractor, not like a specific purpose thingy,
Yeah.
was really big and it was very new. I could tell.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael's got some big tractors.
Yeah, it's one of those double wheeled.
Yeah. But all his stuff is new. I mean, a farmer like that usually trades out all their tractors like every 5 years or so, because they don't really buy them and own them. They lease them. I mean, I can't say with certainty that's what Michael does, but that's probably what he does. They lease them from John Deere, and then so they're always paying money, but they're never really gaining anything. But when you lease them, the John Deere will do a lot of the maintenance and stuff on them, and break down in the field, and they'll come out to you. At least in theory.
So I know all of them just make it work.
Yeah.
But they mostly like change what they put on there.
Yeah.
They do anything.
I was gonna say you'll see them tear down, even completely tear down the engines of their trucks. You'll never see them do that with one of their tractors. They're very limited on what they're allowed to do. That's why if you watch in the news and stuff, you'll hear about like the right to repair laws, where they're trying to get them to stop using so much proprietary stuff and let the farmers work on their tractors the way the old guys did. But for the most part, they can't do anything on them. They can't work on them. They have to let John Deere do the work, because especially if they're leasing, John Deere owns the tractor. They never own it.
Over here next to us at the Farmers Building, we've got the custom notepads with John Deere logo on them. Say hi to us, Dakota. There's a couple of those vendors here, folks. So be sure to check out everything.
But a lot of that stuff is why a lot of these tractor owners, a lot of these engine owners don't really know that much about their machines. Yep, they can't sit there and have a conversation with you about it.
Are you saying you've tried and they couldn't?
I have. I've deleted a lot of footage from people who just didn't want to talk, or would just kind of bullcrap their way through it. And I was like, and I know they're not telling the truth. You know, I've deleted a lot of footage over that. But a lot of them, the vast majority of them, just don't even want to talk. Don't even want to talk to you. I do find some. I found a few, and I keep those on video.
Like that one guy probably?
Which one? Oh, the one that was talking about our tractors?
No, the guy who was starting all those.
Oh, the guy starting all the engines? Yeah. He would know, but he's so busy I can't get his attention. Yeah. When he's up there starting those things up.
I think there's two guys starting stuff, and they have a couple people helping them that really don't know they don't.
Yeah.
Don't know what they're doing.
Revolutionary War or quilting.
Caution tape around like the thingy.
Mm-hmm.
I can get there and these people walking in.
Probably. Toy tractors. Said some toy tractors.
I wonder if Pebble's gonna go to like the antique tractor toy things. Because I know he collects those things.
Yeah.
But they're mostly green, so they probably won't.
Never know. We could search all day and never find him. That's it.
Same thing how you haven't seen Bradley.
Yeah. If I get a signal, I suppose I could call him. Yeah. Yeah, the one day a message finally went through to Bradley. I sent it like early afternoon, and he answered me at like 8 o'clock at night and said, "No, I'm back home." I think that was Thursday. But Yeah, so he didn't get the message till he was heading out off the grounds. There's just too many people, too much pressure on the cell phone towers.
Yeah.
Yeah, this building there'll be a lot of antiques in here. There's a noon bell. Huh? Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah,
now there's the lunch horn.
All right, let's catch some more tractors before the sun goes down. A lot of these here in the beginning are going to be from members of the Randolph County Antique Club, Winchester, Indiana. We got an Oliver Super 88. It's a 1955, owned by Tony Jennings of Muncie, Indiana. Here we got a Cub. Looks like a well-oiled Cub. 1948 International Farmall Cub, owned by Ava Jennings. Nice looking M. It's a 1950 Farmall M, owned by Preston Schaus of Muncie, Indiana. Minneapolis Moline U. Restored in 2007. Owners Bob Stump, Max and Connie Jennings, Brian and Cheryl Jennings. (1950) Massey Harris 30. Brian and Cheryl Jennings of Farmland, Indiana. Here we've got a case, and the tag is on the other side. Let's see what it says. Hey Squeak, how you doing?
What you doing? Taking video?
Yeah, doing video again.
We got mine down there, all them with the flags. That's all my stuff.
I'll be getting to them in a minute.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see what we got here. 1936 Case RC, Brian and Cheryl Jennings of Farmland, Indiana. There's a 1938 Case RC. Brian and Cheryl Jennings of Farmland, Indiana. Here we got another case. I'm reading through the back of the sign. 1939 Case RC, owned by the same couple. Got a 36, 38, 39 all in a row. (1944) Farmall H, owned by Tom Swingley of Winchester, Indiana. Got a Massey Ferguson here. I don't know the number on it. Got a manure bucket on the front. Here we got a Ford with a 2-bottom plow. It's like 212 bottom, 212 inch plows. Looks like anyway. It's a nice looking tractor. Looks like we got a plaque up here. Oh. Win this tractor, $10, Randolph County. So apparently this is up for raffle. I might have to buy a ticket or two. You guys selling raffle tickets? Or is it?
Yep.
I think I might buy a couple.
2, 5.
How many you need? $10 a
$10 a piece.
piece. 2 for 20.
2 for 20.
That's a bargain, isn't it?
See how this is working?
Or 5 for 100.
Now wait a minute.
You're not getting much deal, man.
You got the ticket. Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Give me.
50. That lady bought 54.
Did she?
This is what happened.
All her grandkids.
Yeah.
Everybody's gone.
So they're $10 a piece.
Yeah.
Give me 5 anyway. When are they drawing this?
It will probably be the last weekend in October.
Okay.
And the reason I say that, our club has a fall harvest day.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
I tried to make it there last year and
Okay.
something came up. I didn't make it.
Well, we need to sit down there and put your name and phone number.
Name and phone number?
Yeah, we don't need your email and all that.
Okay.
And they got the crops planted so late that we got to wait till last October before they can harvest them.
Okay.
But it's on Facebook under our Antique Tractor Club.
Yeah, I follow your page.
Good.
I was going to come to your show there in Winchester, and I take care of elderly family members and stuff, and I couldn't end up coming to that one either. I wanted to see the horse polls.
Well, it was canceled.
It got canceled.
Was it canceled?
Because it
Yes,
rained
right.
in our track.
Okay.
So you didn't miss it.
I mean, I wanted to see the whole show, but
Yeah.
I was like,
So you must be fairly local.
Muncie.
Yep.
I did spend about 6 years just 3 miles south of here and
Okay.
call it.
Oh yeah. Know where that's at.
All right, let's see, where were we? A Farmall B. We may end up with a sun interface here real shortly, if it's not already washing out the camera. 1941 Farmall B, owned by Larry Fields of Farmland, Indiana. Alice Chalmers, CA. Squeak done told us when he passed earlier that his tractors had the flags on them, so this should be one of his. Yep, he don't have a plaque on him. I've known Squeak for a very long time. My first job as an adult, after working at Dairy Queen and McDonald's and stuff, my first job as an adult was at Frank Miller Lumber Company, and that's where I met Squeak. Goodness gracious, that was 26, 27 years ago. So yeah, I've known him a long time. Here we go, he's got a plaque on this one. 1949 WD, owned by Gene Young. Young Farm. Alice Chalmers, Gene and Kim. Dang it. Here we go, WD 45. 1957, owned by Alex Bowes of Union City, Indiana. Here we got another WD 45 diesel and a wide front end. Doesn't have a plaque on it. Farmall H. I know this is one of Squeak's. 1942 Farmall H, owned by Gene Young of Union City, Indiana. Here is the Fordson Major diesel we saw get unloaded the first day, Sunday. Gosh, Sunday seems like forever ago now. And we have another Farmall B. If you're familiar with my videos, and let's wait for this guy. If you're familiar with my tractors, especially my Farmall A, the only difference between a Farmall A and a Farmall B is on the A, this wheel is brought in closer and then it's counterweighted to make up for it being disproportionate. The B, they offset the driver's seat. The A, they shorten the axle, and then you have an offset engine. We don't have any side by side, I don't think. But here we got a Alice Chalmers C. And there's another Alice Chalmers. Couldn't tell you what it is model-wise. Restored in memory of Dale Cash of Portland, Indiana. There's a Farmall H, 1951. Tom and Angie Brenner of Hartford City, Indiana, in memory of Paul E. Miller II. Cancer sucks. Here we got a big F20. I think this is the first F20 we've looked at this year at this show. F20 is one of the two we had. My papa had when was growing up. Learned to drive a tractor on a Farmall F20. Seems like long ago and far away. Here we got a Farmall C with a bucket, trip bucket. Doesn't have a nameplate or anything on it. Minneapolis Moline. It's a nice patinaed tractor. And we've got another Minneapolis Moline. This is an M5. Looks like it's got a propane tank. Step back here to get a full view. Pretty big tractor. Here's an H. Another Farmall H. They spent quite a bit of time on this one. On the front we got a buzzsaw. Right beside that, we got a John Deere 50. It says Norman Miller, Portland, Indiana. And we got a 1939 Alice Chalmers B, owned by Jerry and Carol Pieter of Denver, Indiana. Oh, I like that sign there. If you're not one of my grandkids, stay off. Here we got a disc behind the big John Deere over there. It's probably an R. Alice Chalmers B with a Woods L59 belly mower. There's an Alice Chalmers G with a cultivator package on it. It says Barry Miller of Portland, Indiana. And we got a Cub. It's a 1948 Farmall Cub. Kevin Lawrence. Squeezed in beside it, we got a Cub Original. Or no, as a Cub Cadet 100. Demi Lawrence. 1971 Cub Cadet. Here we got a Ford 600. Rebecca Puderball, 600 Ford. I think I might be missing the tractor poles, but that's all right. I've got a lot of stuff to do. All right. 1949 Farmall H, restored in honor of the original owner, Lloyd Huber, Perry Township, Delaware County, Indiana. That's where I live. Owners Becky Huber Cummings, the daughter, Jack Cummings, the grandson, Milo Cummings, the great-grandson. Finish and paint by Alan Swimwalt, the great-grandson. And the mechanicals by Snyder Farm Service. Yeah. And Becky Cummings lives in Union City. But that tractor come from where I grew up. It was probably in some service in the fields very nearby our place. And we got her at Oliver Row Crop 66. Or 60. Row Crop 60. Owned by Alan Cummings of Union City. There we got an Alice Chalmers. I believe, owned by Alan Cummings of Union City. There's another Alice Chalmers. An adjustable wide front there. Again, owned by Alan Cummings of Union City, Indiana. Oliver Row Crop 60. This one's got a manure bucket on the front, a trip bucket. Says it's a 1948 Model 60. Glenn Hummel, Barbara Hummel, Bruner, and Jim Bruner. Here we got a Ferguson 35. 3 sets of wheel weights on the back. 1957 TO 35, owned by Kurt Bauman of Decatur, Indiana. Here we got a 1928 McCormick Deering 1020. Here we got a Farmall M 1951. Restored and painted by Kurt Bauman, owned by Steve and Marna Bauman of Lynn Grove, Indiana. John Deere 4020 diesel driving by. And we get another Ford. It says in memory of Howard Locker, 1925 to 2001. Assume he was 76 years old then. 1953 Ford NAA, owned by Dwight and Janet Dunmoyer of Portland, Indiana. Nice looking one. Here we've got a Farmall Cub. Is it a demonstrator? Yeah. Farmall 1950 Farmall Cub demonstrator. Marks Habinger of Portland, Indiana. Looks like it's got a plow on the back. Let's take a look at it here. I don't know if I can squeeze through that side. We'll just come right back around here. Got Alice Chalmers, 1942 WC. Neil and Meg Habiger of Portland, Indiana. And I am going to pause this for a minute. Just remember this is where we were. And there it is. It's all over but the shouting now. You know, in the last week, we've seen and done a lot here. And in 7 or so hours of video, I've been able to show you a lot of this show. But really, we're just barely touching the surface. There is so much to see and do here that I don't think any person could see every exhibit, even in the few days of the show. And that's okay. I think part of the appeal for others of coming here is that they get to see new things all the time, whether exhibits change from year to year or they go into areas or they see things that they didn't see in the years past. You know, for us, we come every year for the tractors, but it's also great for the people who attend to have something so large that they just can't do it all. I appreciate you joining me here. If you really like what we've been doing, make sure you interact with the videos, hit the like button, leave comments, leave questions so I can answer. And if you want to see more from day to day, even beyond the show, hit that subscribe button. And if you really like what we're doing and you'd like to maybe help support us a little further, hit that subscribe plus button and consider becoming a channel member. We've got 3 different levels of membership. They each offer different perks. and it comes as a monthly payment. Adds a little bit to our ability to keep showing the tractors and keep having the Bible studies and everything we do on our channel. Your support is greatly appreciated there. And that's all I've got for you from the 2025 Portland Tractor and Engine Show. If you like what you've seen here, consider coming in person next year, even if it's just for one day. Or if you can't do that, hey, keep on the lookout for more videos coming. I've got other edits and things that I didn't show that I'll be able to put in video later. But coming for a day-to-day from the show, this is it. I appreciate you joining me through all this. It's been a pleasure to bring you along. Until next time, just keep on nourishing your dreams, cultivating your passions, embracing the beauty of God's creation. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. We'll see you then.